Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Hinata Shoyo ex-listener. This one is titled Relive the Dream, and this is a two-part series, so if you guys do want to see part 2, make sure you comment down below. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. The bell rang melodically through the school, and you couldn't have been more relieved. After fulfilling your cleaning duties, you packed up your things and headed out of the door. Not too far from the school gates, you caught sight of something peculiar. As you got closer to it, the more interested you became. It wasn't long before you had reached what had captured your interest, just to be staring up at cute brown eyes. Your heart felt like it was melting as you gazed upon a young child with dull orange hair, whose round face carried slightly large brown eyes. You leaned down to match to eye level with the little girl. "Hello there," you said. "Are you waiting for someone?" The young girl blinked, before watching you carefully and nodding her head once. You tilted your head to the side, taking a moment to think. It's been 30 minutes since the school bell rang, and she was still here waiting for the person, so they must be in some sort of club or something. "Oh, Nii-chan," the girl said, clutching the cuff of her jean jacket. Can't I enter your school?" "Huh? You have to at least graduate elementary school or junior high first before entering into Karasuno." The orange-haired girl shook her head and said, "I only want to watch Nii-chan play." "Play? Oh, I see. So your big brother's in a club or something? What club is he in? Maybe I can call him and let him know that you're here so he can ask the teachers to let you in." Please don't. I don't want him to know that I'm here." Now you were left even more confused, but it was clear that she wanted to continue explaining. "Oni-san says I can only always comes late home because of practice, and he always goes to school early because of practice too, but whether it be coming home early or late, he never fails to smile. I haven't watched him play even once, and I really want to know why he's so happy." She earnestly looks at you with such a pleading expression, and you couldn't help but squeal at how cute she was. Leave it to Oni-san to help you out, okay?" you said with a smile as you hugged the young girl. "So, what club is he in?" The girl's face lit up. "The volleyball club." Time skip. It was harder than you thought to find the gym, it was harder than you thought it would be, but you were finally able to get the young girl inside of the campus, into the gym where you knew the boys' volleyball players were having their practice. From outside of the gym, you could hear the squeaking of the shoes on the shiny floor, and the bouncing of balls, and the shouting members of the team and the coach. You took a sneak peek inside and saw Takada-sensei. You almost panicked when you saw him, but then you caught a glance of Kyoku of Shimizu-senpai. Maybe, just maybe, if you explained it properly, they'd let the young girl watch. You took one glance at the girl by your side and then pulled out the courage to call attention to the volleyball manager and teacher. In a matter of seconds, they were at the door where you hid the girl behind you, away from their view. "Last name, son," Takada said. "Is there something wrong?" Not really, but I'd like to ask a favor, please," you asked out. The teacher smiled. "Sure, what is it?" You had taken a deep breath in and showed the orange-haired girl behind you. "She wants to watch her brother play." The teacher's glasses became crooked as he stared at the little girl, and even Shimizu-senpai looked a little bit confused. "Why is there a little girl on campus?" You immediately shushed him and looked around. You pressed your hands together in a begging position. "Please," you said. "She really wants to see her brother play, but she doesn't want him to know that she's here. If it's against the school rules to bring an outsider inside of the school premises, then I'll apologize and receive any punishment that the school has to offer. I'll do anything, okay?" Calm down, last name son," the teacher said. "But why go through with such a length?" "Because I have a weakness for cute things, and she's really cute," Wei said with a really serious face. Then your expression softened. "But it's also because I can't help it when she so desperately wants to watch her brother play." Shimizu-senpai and Takada-sensei both glanced at the girl whose eyes were excited to see what was behind the gym doors. This former whispered something to the teacher while looking at you. You gulped, feeling that something was going on. Feeling that this is going to be about the offer that they were going to ask you. Other than that, they nodded and gave you approval. "What's your name?" Kyoko asked the girl. I'm Hinata Natsu. It's nice to meet you, Oni-san, the girl said with a small smile on her face. Takada-sensei smiled. Oh, so you're Hinata-kun's sister. Working out a plan, they were able to get the little girl onto the bleachers of the second floor without any of the members noticing. The coach was too preoccupied with practice to even see what was going on. You also joined the young girl on the second floor while Shimizu-senpai and Takada-sensei returned to their positions on the court as if nothing had happened. Coach Yukai had blown the whistle and all the members had rounded up. Then he proceeded to say that they were going to have a practice game and trying out a few more formations. As the players proceeded to their respective teams on the court, you couldn't help but notice a guy with orange hair that looked just like the young girl beside you, only he had a brighter shade. Ne, Natsu-chan. Oh wait, is it okay if I call you that? You asked. The little girl nodded and proceeded to continue watching the court. The guy with the orange hair, is he your brother? You see her nod again as you concentrate on watching the game. The first group consists of a guy who is almost bald, a gloomy guy, Natsu-chan's brother, and a guy named Asahi-senpai and Saromura-sensei. Senpai. The other team had a really tall guy with blonde hair and glasses, a much shorter guy with spiky hair, and another guy with freckles on his face, 2 more senpais that you hadn't met yet, and then there was Sugawara-senpai. There was a whistle, and the first group offered a serve. The other group received it quite well, sending it to Sugawara-senpai, who had tossed it directly to the really tall guy, who had spiked it right through the block of the orange-haired guy. You couldn't help but smile as the smaller guy shot a glare at the tall one. What did he expect, though? He was quite the shorty. Sugawara was next, as he did a serve, which was quite nice. Saromura received it on the other end, sending it to the gloomy guy near the net. Immediately, all of Sugawara's team went to one side of the net. You didn't know why until... BAM! You barely had time to register what had happened. Did you really see what you thought you did? Did the short guy really jump over the net and spike it? No, never mind that. How did he jump so high? Your mouth was hanging open at what you saw. He had his eyes closed, you mentally shouted. Whoa, that was so cool, Natsu-chan's brother exclaimed. That felt awesome. Hey, Kageyama, let's do it again. Calm down, you idiot, the gloomy-looking guy said, although he also looked quite happy. By the end of the first set, you got used to the so-called freak-quick spikes of Hinata-san's team. Nearing the end of the second set, you couldn't help but feel excited about the outcome. It was obvious that Saromura-san's team was going to win, but still, the other team was really giving it their all. As the whistle blew and the last point was scored, the first team shouted in joy, as if they were really in a competition. You opened your mouth to shout with them, but then remembered that you can't, because there was definitely a female shout of glee. You put your hand over Natsu's, but it was too late. The volleyball players and everyone else on the courts had turned to see where the sound was coming from. You gave them a small, shy laugh. The young girl's eyes widened as she remembered her goal in the first place. She ran behind you to cover herself. Natsu-chan? Hinata-san shouted. A chorus of, huh? Echoed through the gym. The little girl peeked out from behind you to see her brother. Well, there was really nothing you could do now. Both of you were caught. But by the time that you had reached the first floor, the little girl had met her brother halfway through the court. Oni-chan, that was amazing. You played really well for your height, the girl commented, forgetting all of her shyness. Oni-chan, Nishinoya and Tanaka said at the same time, closing in on the spiker. Is she talking about Hinata? Oh yeah, this is my little sister, Natsu, he replied. All of a sudden, Coach was there with a hand on the young girl's head. So, who brought you in? Uh-oh, he thought. The little girl pointed at you, and all of the eyes suddenly went into your direction. It took all of your strength to not turn away. Oh, last name, son, Saromura said with a smile. You here accepted the offer? No, not really. You answered. About that, Shimizu cut in. It seemed like last name's son had no choice but to accept. What are they talking about, Asahi-san? Nishinoya asked you. Oh, about that, Asahi replied. When Coach Yukai saw her around the campus, he asked us to recruit her to be the manager for the volleyball club. Manager? Tanaka and Nishinoya piped, looking excitedly at you. Yeah, Coach Yukai said, looking at you. He turned back. The others wondered in silence as the silent messages were communicated between you, but basically you were thinking about what the coach knew about you. So, Shimizu-san says that you had no choice but to accept being the manager. Coach Yuka finally said. That's what I want you to know as well. The volleyball club already has 2 managers. Last name son, Takada said. Do you remember what we said before we let you in? You thought about it, and then panic started to well up inside you. You nod. Well, I did say that, but it's not like this is a punishment or anything. You're just doing what you said you would, or you said that you would do anything, right? I understand, you sighed in defeat. Before there was a ruckus, Coach Yukai called all the players' attention. Okay, everyone. Introductions can be done tomorrow. Practice is over. Let's clean up and go. Don't forget to stretch. Time skip. Along the way, Natsu-chan fell asleep on her older brother, and he had to carry her. You had the urge to pinch her soft cheeks. Or you had to stop the urge to pinch her soft and plump cheeks. I'm sorry, last name son, Hinata said. I'm letting you push the bike like you're... Wait, I'm letting you push the bike and you're even accompanying us home. You shook your head. No, it's alright. If you rode your bike with your sister sleeping on you, who would have known what would happen? Besides, my house is also this way, although usually I take the shortcut. So, what club are you in? Hinata asked you with a huge smile on his face. Except for, being the manager of the volleyball club, of course. Ugh, don't remind me. Also, to answer your question though, in high school, I wasn't in any clubs until now. Really? You look kind of like the athletic type. Why don't you join a sports club or something? You lowered your gaze. Because there's only one that I'd want to join. Then why don't you join it? Because it's difficult to play already. Why? Why so, huh? Because it just is. Anyways, why did you join the volleyball club? You're kind of short, so don't you think it's kind of high ambition for your height? A lot of people say that, but it's okay. I joined the team because of a little giant. Oh, you mean the number 10 of Karasuno who brought the team to nationals? Hinata smiled, widened even more. He was short, but he was able to get through the spikers. It was amazing. I want to be just like him. You hummed, amused at this guy. During junior high, I was only able to play one tournament. The first game was my last, and I strived harder to learn so I could defeat the guy who annoyed me back then. But that guy I wanted to defeat also joined the same school. You know, Kageyama, right? The one with the evil eyes? He's the one I wanted to defeat, but we ended up on the same team. They would always be this tall wall in front of me that would just loom over me. I always wondered what the view was like on the other side. I've always known that I couldn't see it directly by myself, but that's when Kageyama tossed to me. The view of the other side opened up and I could spike freely. You smiled half-heartedly. I can only imagine. That must be awesome. It really is, Hinata said, giving another great smile. Natsu-chan was right. He never fails to smile. Good for him. He still gets to do what he loves the most. You smiled, or you finally reached your house as you bid him a goodbye. Hinata persisted that he accompanied you home, no matter how many times... Hinata persisted, though, that he would accompany you home, and no matter how many times you said that you were going to be fine, he didn't change his mind, so you gave in. Once he had put Natsu-chan to bed, he hopped onto his bike and you sat behind him, your legs swing freely on one side. You gave him the directions to your house until he finally reached your humble abode. Before he left, Hinata wanted to ask one more question. Hey, last name son, what's the sport that you really love? You looked at him as you saw the curiosity in his eyes. Looking away, you gazed at the nearby court that was near your house, remembering the beautiful memories that you had made, and they made your eyes sting. Volleyball, you answered. Time skip. I'm Tanaka Ryunosuke, a second year. My position's a cool wing spiker, the guy with the bald hair said. I'm Nishinoya Yu, a second year, and my position's a libero, the guy with the spiky hair said. You can call me Noya though. It's nice to meet you, Tanaka-senpai and Noya-senpai, you greeted. In the back of your mind, you were apologizing to Noya and Hinata for thinking that they were short, but then again, if we consider an average height of a male at their age, then they are pretty short. But then again, they're still in high school, so who knows if they'll get a growth spurt. Sparkling eyes caught your attention as they brought you back into reality. You had looked away from the two second years, as they stared in admiration of you. Are they really like that? You asked Sugawara. Don't worry, they just get like that when they're called senpais. Right now, everyone was having after class practices, but Coach Yukai asked everyone to introduce themselves while they were warming up. So far, the third years and second years had finished introducing themselves. Now it was your fellow first years. The kind of gloomy guy said, at first, "I'm Kageyama." "I'm Hinata Shoyo," the orange-haired boy spoke up, surprising you. He really gave a wide smile before continuing. "You already know who I am, but never mind that. My position is the middle blocker." You had bit your lip to stop yourself from laughing. What were they thinking? Making Hinata the middle blocker when he's that short? It would have been understandable if it was the tall guy with the glasses. All of a sudden, a rather intimidating aura was emitted from the person who was supposed to be the first one to get introduced. He had gripped Hinata's head like it was nothing but a volleyball. Hinata started to shout in pain. Somehow, feeling satisfied, he released the boys from his grip and stood properly before you, repeating his introduction. "I'm Kageyama Tobio. My position is a setter, and the shorty over there is the team's decoy." "Hey, stop with the shorty," Hinata said. "Decoy, huh?" You thought. From the side, you can hear the other two first years snickering. You looked at them inside. "So, who are you guys?" you asked. The tall guy with the blonde hair and glasses spoke up. "Tsugishima-kei, middle blocker." The guy beside him with the freckles on his face introduced himself as well. "I'm Yamaguchi Tadashi. I'm also a middle blocker as well." After the introductions and warm-ups, you had introduced yourself. "I'm last name, first name. I'll be the manager starting today. It's nice to meet you all." The gym door had opened up, and then came the other manager of the club, Yachi Hizuka, a fellow first year. This was the first time that you had met her, along with Shimizu-senpai, and the first time you had met her was also when Shimizu-senpai was trying to recruit you. Excuse me, but Michimiya-senpai is here with a favor." "Hey guys," Michimiya-san greeted at the door. "Actually, the girls thought they should have a game between themselves, but we're kind of lacking in members, so they asked me to recruit 2 more players. That's when I remembered that there was a few female managers on this team, so I was wondering if we could borrow them on Saturday." "Oh, okay, about that, who would you like to borrow?" Saramura said. "We actually have 3 managers already." "Huh? Really?" Michimiya-san said, as she looked around the gym and spotted you. She stared at you for quite an uncomfortable bit of time. Is something wrong?" you asked. "I feel like I've seen you somewhere before." You felt even more uncomfortable, but she looked away. "Well, I'll be bringing Shimizu-san, and let me see," she said, contemplating between you and Yachi. When her gaze landed on Yachi, the younger girl immediately spurted out an excuse. I don't know about volleyball that much, so I don't think I would be a good fit," the girl said. Hinata piped up. "Oh yeah, last name said that she played volleyball in junior high." You panicked. "Hinata," you hissed. "Then that's perfect," Coach Yukai cut in. "Shimizu-san and last name-san would play a game of volleyball on the women's club on Saturday." "Wait, but I..." "Why not?" Kyoko-senpai said, giving you an encouraging pat. "So, what was your position in junior high?" Michimiya-senpai asked you. You hesitated for a moment, almost everyone was curious to know, especially Hinata. "Well, I played wing spiker, but..." "Whoa," Hinata exclaimed. "Cool, you spike too." Yes, but I was saying that..." "Okay then, I'll come with the groups by Saturday," Michimiya-san said as she waved goodbye and headed out. Coach Yukai called the members together as they started practicing. You concentrated on helping out the team, but you couldn't help but feel the heavy feeling that you were having. Okay, that was part 1. I really like that. Oh my god, I can't wait for part 2. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And if you did, make sure you also like the video because that does something for the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!